Hi everyone, I've decided I'm going to do a series of videos on wellness because I have been in wellness for over 40 years. In fact, way back in my early days when I was a physical therapist, although I'm actually a physiotherapist, which is an Australian trained physical therapist, but we do a lot more than American physical therapists because you're kind of more segmented here. You know, you've got respiratory therapists, physical therapists, other kind of therapists, whereas we did a lot of that. So we worked in hospitals, we worked in outpatients and sports injuries clinics, we worked in ergonomics and occupational health. We did a really broad range of activities. And we did a lot of surgical, post-surgical stuff as well. And that included the respiratory therapy. So as a physio way back 100,000 years ago, I got into wellness when the word was brand new. And I met a man called Don Ardell, who was one of the first wellness doctors out there. And, you know, I would say to people this concept of wellness, and they would look at me and go, what? Well, what? What's that? Truly, people had never heard of it. And so I've been in wellness a very long time. And I'm 71. I just turned 71 a few days ago when I was shooting this video. And, you know, people look at me, not my face, not my face so much, but the body. And if I go back a bit, you can see the body. I'm very agile and all my joints work and my muscles are strong. And pretty much physically, I'm in great shape, particularly for a 71-year-old. And people say, oh, well, it's genetic. No, it's not. My mother had a connective tissue disorder and I don't think I got it, but my brother's had both his hips replaced and my sister has had an endless series of physical issues. But I've really never had any. You know, I mean, I sat on my thumb once and broke it when I was a kid, and occasionally I get the odd ache or pain, but I know what to do about it because I've been in wellness for so long. So I want to share with you why I believe my body's in such great shape. Now, of course, as I've been in wellness, I have always paid attention to what I eat. I've always paid attention to what I drink. And I've been very conscious of my health along the way. So, of course, that plays a part in it. And I might just throw in as a little kind of a thing here, the quality of the water you drink is absolutely critical. And as we, I don't know, become more civilized, we seem to be adding more and more and more things to our water. And so, you know, even if you think, well, I'm okay because I'm drinking out of plastic bottles. I was at a conference the other day for the American Supply Association, and there were a bunch of plumbers and manufacturing people there. And I heard some more horrifying statistics about what they're putting in our water. And this is from a bunch of, you know, men who really know what they're talking about. There were 3 or 4 women. I'm not being sexist or anything. It's just the reality of who was in the room. And they were really conscious about the water because often the water you get in a bottle is reverse osmosis water. And just know that reverse osmosis is kind of like, it's not distilled water, but it's kind of close. And if you drink a lot of that, it can make your body quite acidic. And that's not a good thing because you want to have a balance between alkaline and acid. And so you need to add maybe just a pinch of Celtic sea salt to the water if that's what you're doing, because that gives the minerals back into the water. But the worst thing about plastic bottles is that, and you've all heard this, I'm sure, is that there are particles of the plastic, nanoparticles of plastic. And they're now finding that almost every human has got nanoparticles in their bodies, in their bloodstream. So it's really important to have a good water bottle that you reuse and you fill it with excellent water. So try and get a water filter. And, you know, you can get some really good quality water filters that aren't expensive. And they just sit on your bench top and you put normal water in them and it filters out all the chlorine and the fluoride and the other things that can harm us. And the I forget, there's a fancy word that's not a good thing to have in your water that one of the guys told me about. But it also has a little mineral bucket in the bottom and it puts the minerals back in. So they're the cheapest if you just buy a benchtop one. You can get it under water, you know, under sink filter, but know that you can get the cheap ones that work really well that sit on the countertop. And so rabbited on enough about water. Just go and be aware that the quality of your water really matters because 70% of the human body is water. and what we put in. And think about it too. Think about a shower filter, because the skin is the biggest organ in the body and it absorbs everything. So whatever you're putting on your skin, if it has chemicals, if it has stuff like that, you're taking those in. So look at the ingredient labels on everything you put onto your skin. And think about getting a shower filter, because they're not expensive either, and it makes the quality of the water come out not hurt your body. So I was talking about my physical body and I got completely sidetracked onto the water, and I didn't realize that would take so long. So maybe I'll stop this video and maybe I'll say a couple more things about water, and then I'll do another one on the other physical aspects. So back to the water. See if you can find spring water. If you're going to find bottled water, see if you can find spring water. And, preferably not in plastic. And also be very careful about the plastic bottles getting into the sun and getting hot, because they leach the plastic into it. And there's quite a lot of research now saying we should never reuse plastic water bottles. So I hate to burst a few bubbles, but it's out there and people may not know about it, so I'm sharing it with you now. So start to dive into the quality of the water that you're drinking, because it really matters. Oh, and by the way, I had a swimming pool in Australia, and I made sure that my swimming pool was not the average chlorine-based one. So if you've got a swimming pool, have a look at making it a saltwater pool or a magnesium pool, which is amazing. And in Australia, I used a thing called a bionizer. And the bionizer, but the water was fabulous. It was all like perfectly balanced and all of that sort of stuff, and didn't have any nasty chemicals in it, but it was clean. It didn't get algae or anything like that, as long as I maintained it. And honestly, you'd get out of the pool and it was like you'd been in a bath. There was never any of that sticky stuff that you get, and it never degraded my clothes. It was just fabulous. So there you go. Think about your swimming pools as well. See ya.
Always look on the bright